Okay, so we have completed till uh, let's just take the Discord channel here. Let's give it. We have completed till product price at a given date. We completed this one last time. Given date, how do you do that? Completed that. Just make sure we did. So yeah, we completed on 3rd of 2025. Recording में है, you guys can go and take a look at it. Okay. Next is immediate food delivery description. This one. This one. ये क्वेश्चन पहले से सेंड किया हुआ है, आप देख सकते हैं. Just send the other question. Just this one. All right. So these are the things that we're going to do. सबसे पहला question. Immediate food delivery. 2. The question says we are given some data here, which is we're given a table called as delivery table. And in this delivery table, there are 4 columns: delivery ID, customer ID, order date, and customer preference delivery date. If the customer's preferred date is same as the order date, then the order is immediate. Otherwise, it's a scheduled order. The first order is the order with the earliest order date that the customer made. It is guaranteed that customer has precisely one first order at least. Write a solution to find out percentage of immediate orders for all the customers. तो जितने भी आपके पास कस्टमर दिए हैं उन सब में कितने लोगों का immediate order. So if you just take a look at this, what is happening here is customer ID 1 has a first order with a delivery ID 1. So customer ID 1, first order, delivery ID 1. So फर्स्ट ऑर्डर लेके आने सबके और उनका डिलीवरी इमीडिएट है कि नहीं वो फाइंड आउट करना. तो कस्टमर आईडी 1, डिलीवरी आईडी 1, द ऑर्डर डेट वाज दिस and the preferred date is this. Okay, so because the preferred date and order date are different by 1, so it is not the same date, that means it's a scheduled one. Then go to customer ID 2. We go to customer ID 2 and check his delivery ID 2 is the first delivery, first order that he placed. When he placed the first order, his preferred delivery date is same as the order date. So it is an immediate delivery required. After that, customer ID 3, 1 is again here, but we can skip this because this is not the first order from the customer. Customer ID 3, this is the first order from the customer. We go and check the IDs for immediate date. So this is an immediate delivery. So it's an immediate delivery. After that, we go to customer ID 3 again. Sorry, customer ID 3. Actually, customer ID 3's first order date is this. So this order date are also not ordered. So this is the first order from the customer ID 3. It is not an immediate one. So it is a scheduled one. So when we go to customer ID 4, the order date is 8/9 and delivery date is also same. So this is an immediate delivery required. So we have to make sure that this order date is not ordered properly. So first of all, what we have to do is we have to identify what are the first orders for each of the customers. Okay. How do we identify first order for each customers? फर्स्ट ऑर्डर का इमीडिएट डिलीवरी निकालना है. तो सबसे पहले हमें क्या पता करना पड़ेगा, व्हाट इज द फर्स्ट ऑर्डर फॉर ईच कस्टमर. हाउ डू वी आइडेंटिफाई व्हाट इज द फर्स्ट ऑर्डर फॉर ईच कस्टमर? We can just do group by customer ID and take the minimum of order date, and that is going to give us the first order for each customer. Okay. All right. So once we do that, what next? After that, we have to identify out of these first orders that we have, which one are immediate. Okay. And for us to check the immediate, it is simple, right? You just take the order date and customer preferred order. So first of all, let's find out what are the first orders for each of the customers. So to select first order for each of the customers, let's write that query. Select, let's say, customer ID, and let's get the order date here. Okay, you want the minimum order date from delivery table. Group by customer ID. So this is going to give us the first order for each of the customers. Now we want to get the delivery from the delivery table. We want to get the first order. So all we can do is just सबसे पहले run करके देखो. It will give you the first orders, obviously. Okay. It is giving you the first order for all the customers. What is the first order for each of the customers? We got that. Now let's get the delivery information of the first orders. So let's get the delivery information. So let's use that same concept that we learned earlier. You can also do a CT, but let's use the same concept. So we want to match this tuple, which is the customer ID, with the order date. Okay, we want to match this whole thing with all the combinations that we have here, and so that you can get the first order. So let's get that. Select star from delivery, where this is matching. It's present in this. Give you all the deliveries, first order deliveries. Let's check that if it is giving you that. So this give you all the first deliveries for each of the customers. So 1, 2, सबका first delivery मिल गया आपको. Customer ID 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the first deliveries of them. And all you have to check now is the order date and the customer preferred date. Okay. So what do we check here? Order date and customer preferred date has to be same. If it is same, that means it's an immediate one. If it is not same, then it is not an immediate one. Okay. So let's check that. Now there are some ways. There are some ways to add case statements in the select. Okay, how do we do that? Now let's learn case statements. All right. So case statement is basically a conditional value that you can give to the select. So for example, what is happening here? You are doing select order ID quantity. Okay, and then you are checking when the quantity is greater than 30, you say greater than 30 quantity. When the quantity is equal to 30, then you say quantity is equal to 30. Everything else, the quantity is under 10. The syntax for this is basically you start with a case statement. Okay? This is a case statement. You have a case starting and you have a case ending. Case start, case end. All right. Then you have some conditions here. When this happens, then do what? Then return what? Okay. When this condition is satisfied, then return what? Then return something. If none of these are satisfied, else return something here. Okay, so this is how the conditional statements are. So this is the case statement. So this is the syntax of a case statement. Always there's going to be a case and there's going to be an end. Case and end. And this is going to be used in the select part right now. Okay. When certain condition is true, then result is this. When this condition is true, then the result is this. When this condition is true, result is this. If none of these conditions are true, then result is this. Okay. हमारे केस में कैसे करेंगे इसको अभी? All we have to do is we have to let's say I'll put star as this. Okay. Let's add a case statement, case, and immediately add an end here for the case. Okay. When this is going to end the case. I'm not sure why I can change the color. When order date is equal to customer preferred date. Okay, when order date is equal to customer preferred date, then this is an immediate order. Else, it is an scheduled order. Okay, let's try to see what we get here. Okay, case statement को rename करते हैं because this whole thing is going to mess up the formatting. Let's call it type, order type. This is actually first order type because we're selecting the first orders only. So let's see. So what we got here, this is a scheduled, this is an intermediate, this is a scheduled, and this is an intermediate. What did it do? It just went row by row and then checked. If these two values are same, then it is going to say it is an immediate. If it is not, then it is going to call it a scheduled. नहीं है scheduled, है immediately यहाँ पे. ठीक है? So this is what this result is going to look like. Case statement is present in this select statement, and it is going to change the value or the result based on certain cases. The case that we have here is this case. The order date has to be equal to the immediate delivery date. Okay. Any questions here? This is how you add the case statements.
सर इसमें multiple else use कर सकते हैं मतलब.
We can have multiple cases here. When, and so on. Okay. You can have multiple cases here. Okay. लेकिन हमारे पास एक केसेस है तो दो ही लिखा है यहाँ पर. ऑलराइट.
हाँ.
एक और तरीका है, बिकॉज वी ओनली हैव टू केसेस, इट इज कॉल्ड एज इफ एल्स स्टेट. इफ एल्स भी देख लेते हैं. इफ एल्स SQL. ओके, इफ एल्स कैसे काम करता है? if लिखना है, then you have to tell what is the condition that you have to check. If this is true, then this is the result. If this is false, then this is the result. Okay, let's see the syntax here. If condition is true, then this is the result. If condition is false, then this is the result. Okay. If 500 is less than 1000, then this is the result, which is true, right? 500 is less than 1000, तो ये result आएगा आपका. नहीं तो ये. So let's use the same thing here. यहाँ पर कैसे यूज करेंगे इसको? ये एंड वाला रखते हैं. ठीक है. Let's add some more things. If, okay, if this is my condition that we have. Okay. If this condition is true, then call it an immediate. Else call it a scheduled. Using it, I'll just call it using it. Let's just check. So using if, you are going to get the same result. If you have more than one condition, then use the case statement. If you have only two conditions, if you have one condition only, then use this if else statement or if statement here. Okay. In our case, we are going to only use the if, but since this is related to case, I just wanted to cover that too. Okay. हमारे केस में if से ही काम हो जाएगा. We don't need this complex case statement here because if is also compact and it is a smaller syntax. Okay? We just need this part. All right. Now what we can do is, let's do one thing. Instead of sending immediate, just call this one. Okay. If this order is immediate, then say 1. If the order is not immediate, say 0. All right. Now let's see what is going to happen here. What is happening? If the order is immediate, it comes out to be 1. If the order is not immediate, it comes out to be 0. Okay. If not immediate, comes out to be 0. So this is what we have here. Okay. Now let's just call this as is immediate. So this is going to tell us if the order is immediate or not. Okay. If the order is immediate, then it's going to be 1. If it is not, then it's going to be 0. All right. Delivery type. And we are talking about the first order only right now. यहाँ से फर्स्ट ऑर्डर लेके आए, फिर हमने यहाँ पर ऑर्डर पे फिल्टर डाल दिया. Okay, now that is done. If you take a look at this, okay, if you take a look at this, I'm going to add one more thing here. I'm just going to say 1 here. Okay, when I say 1 there, एक column add हो जाएगा, and that column is going to have value 1 1 1 there. Okay, एक नया column add हो गया, and it is having a value 1 1 1 because I'm saying the value is 1. I can rename this column as delivery rate. डिलीवरी हुई नहीं है ऐसे कुछ तो कॉलम है, ठीक है, इट्स गोइंग टू बी 1 1 1. नहीं तो यहाँ पर डिलीवरी आईडी भी है आपके पास में, यू कैन यूज बोथ ऑफ देम. सो just for sake of simplicity, I'm putting that there. Okay, now what I need to do is I don't need all of this information. The delivery, customer ID, ये सब information नहीं चाहिए. All I want to know is what is the percentage. तो percentage क्या होगा? If I take the sum of this divided by sum of this is going to give me the percentage of immediate deliveries. इसका sum divided by इसका sum, number of immediate deliveries divided by total deliveries. Okay, that is going to give me the percentages. How do I take a sum of this? Let's remove this select statement. So all I can do is take a sum of this whole thing. इसका sum आ जाएगा. Okay, तो इसको बोलते हैं हम लोग immediate count. Let's say. Okay, और जो दूसरा है, we are just going to say count. Let's just count the delivery IDs. That let's just count the delivery IDs. क्या होगा इसका? ओके, स्पेस गलत था. आई एम नॉट श्योर वो स्पेस की वजह से क्या प्रॉब्लम हो गया इसका. ठीक है. Now we got the immediate count, which is this. We take the sum of whatever the result this if is returning us, and then we take the deliveries count. Okay, and what we have to do is 2 divided by 4 करना. Alright, so let's do that. Okay? Since we are only interested in that, इसको यहाँ से निकाल देते हैं हम लोग. We are interested in this particular division. Okay, we are interested in that division only. Now let's check that. Common. So it's going to give us 0.5 for sure. 0.5 दे देता है. What is this? This is basically sum of all the immediate deliveries divided by total deliveries that we have. 0.5. So multiply this with 100 to get the percentage. All right. Rounded up to 2 decimal values. So 2 decimal values तक बोला उन्होंने, तो round function use करना पड़ेगा हमें. So we need this round function to make sure it is rounded up to 2 decimal values only. Now let's run this. Got this rounded up to 2 decimal values. इसको rename करना पड़ेगा to immediate percentages. So now let's just rename this column. This is how you rename it. You can use as or anything. So rename it, give you the delivery percentages. Immediate. Okay. So step by step build करना है solutions. Make sure you understand each and every step how we reached that solution. Okay. सबसे पहले we found out what are the minimum orders. After that, we found out how to figure out this if and how to figure out what are the immediate orders. Okay? Once we have the immediate orders, we counted all the immediate orders, and then we divided it by the total number of orders we have, and then we just did the round of it to get the percentage in 2 decimal values. Okay, so that's how you would build the solution. Any questions? All right, let's quickly move on to the next question. Replace employee ID with the unique identifier. Okay, so question says we are having an employees table. There's an ID and there's a name. ID is the primary key. Each row of this table contains an ID and name of the employee in the company. Okay, you have to reply employee. Okay? ID and unique key is the primary key combination of column. Each row of this table contains ID and the corresponding unique ID. Okay. So you are given two tables. All right. Write a solution to show unique ID of each user. If user does not have a unique ID, replace it with null. ठीक है, कुछ नहीं, मतलब यहाँ पर एक टेबल दिया है एम्प्लॉय का, then there's this employee unique table. Okay, all you have to do is use this ID and use this ID to join with each other. Okay, you join with this, and then you get name and then unique ID side by side. You get unique ID and name side by side. When you join, you just have to make sure that you do a left join. So employee left join, your employee unique. Left join करेगा तो unique ID null आ जाएगा, so that you don't miss any of the employees. Okay, you can do that. I think straightforward. Not spend time on this. Add a homework task there. लेफ्ट जॉइन ही करना है, कुछ भी नहीं है इसमें, ठीक है. मेक श्योर जितने भी होमवर्क के फ्लैग्स है सब आप कर रहे हो कंप्लीट. So this is group sold product by the date. Okay, so we are given a table called as activities, and this table has two columns: sell date and product. There is no primary column for this. It may contain duplicates. इसमें duplicates आ सकते हैं, sell date और product. Each row of this column contains product name and the date it was sold in the market. Write a solution to find each date, the number of product sold and their names. The sold names of each should be sorted lexicographically. Okay, they should be sorted. Result the table. The table ordered by the sell date. Okay, so you are given this activities. Okay, and this activity is basically going to have sell date and the product name, sell date and the product name. Okay, you are expected to output for each date. Okay, for each date, total number of sold and what were the products that were sold. Okay, total number of products sold and what were those products that were sold. All right, so how do we do this? Number of products sold, straightforward, correct? All you have to do is just group by the sell date and get the distinct number of number of sold. Okay, what about this product join? How would you join these things together? How would you join them? And also we have to make sure that when we join them, they are in the lexicographical order, as in they are sorted in the order of their names. Okay. So what else is given here? Number of different products bola hai, so that's fine. Okay. How would you do it? Yeah. So first let's do the easy part, which is just group by sell date and get the total number of sold. So let's do the easy part first. Select uh, sell date, okay, and num sold. Okay. So this num sold is basically count distinct products. Okay. Count the distinct products actually from activities table. Table. Group by sell date. Let's is this one. This is going to be num of sold. Let's make it name. Num sold. Column products. Okay. Product products. So this is going to tell us number of sold. Number of sold we got three. Sorry, we got three. We got two. We got one. So this is correct. Now the problem is with these products. How do we collect all of this? Yeah. And also we have to get them in the order, lexicographical order. Getting them in lexicographical order is not that difficult. You can just basically sort this activities table in the lexical order, and then we are done with that. Okay. So the what I'm trying to say is we can do that later. Okay. The ordering part we can do that later. How do we do this? Let's try to do sum. What does sum give us? Let's check. When we do sum of, let's say this thing, what does that give us? It's giving you 0. Okay. So we have to use string operations here in MySQL. Okay. आपको जो टास्क दिया था उसमें string operations थे. Did you guys go through any of those string operations? The operator that we're looking at is concat and concat with a separator. Let's take a look at this. So what this does, this concat, is basically going to merge all of these together. Okay. So for example, just use directly in our answer question, and then to concatenate karna hai. You have to concatenate multiple functions or multiple strings together. Okay. So let's just use it here and immediately it will make sense. So we cannot do this. We can do concat. Now let's try to do concat and see what we have. Okay. Why is it only being one? Mouse, pencil, contract. I think it's an string aggregation function. String aggregate functions. Mhm. And I forgot that. Yeah. Content is- is- Right? Okay. So this is the definition. MySQL के aggregate function. Okay. वहाँ पे आधे ही थे aggregate functions. I think we have aggregate functions here. Group concat. Okay. So the function that we are looking at is this function, group concat function. So it is going to concat by the group. Okay. This might be very specific. अगर आपको ये function नहीं पता होगा, it might maybe you'll not be able to solve this. Okay. So the way it works is this is used for obviously grouping or aggregating. The way you have to write the function is you have to tell group concat, and then you can have distinct and everything there. So group contact distinct test scores. If you want to order the concatenation, then you can tell what you want to order it by, and then if you want it in the descending order, you can tell descending order. You can add the separator also, which is what we need here, and then you basically tell what is the group by. So हमारे केस में we have to do group concat like this. So group concat all of the products that we have. How do you want that? We want them to be distinct. So distinct products. Right? All right, distinct products. And how do we do that? We have to order them. Okay. How do we order them? We have to order them by the product itself. जो भी प्रोडक्ट का नाम रहेगा उसके हिसाब से उसको ऑर्डर करना है. डिसेंडिंग ऑर्डर वगैरह नहीं है तो यू डोंट हैव टू से एनीथिंग. ओके, you can say ascending or leave it as is. By default it is ascending. Okay. Or the separator that we need. Okay, we have to tell separator that we need is the comma separator. Okay, so this is how group concat function is basically works. This might be asked in the interviews, so not you don't have to remember all the functions. जितने भी लिस्ट में फंक्शंस या फिर जितने भी लिस्ट में कॉन्सेप्ट्स हमारे हैं उसके फंक्शन क्वेश्चंस के उतने ही करोगे तो आई थिंक इट शुड डिफाइन. Okay, so this is one of those cases where you have to maybe remember a separate function. If you take a look at this, it is going to give you all of them concatenated by a separator. Like that. Okay. And then they give it a name, just products. Again, so the main thing was this new concept of group concat. जो लिस्ट दिया है आपको उस लिस्ट में अगर आप इसके ऊपर क्लिक करोगे, हाँ हाँ वो इस पे क्लिक करोगे so it will take you to a solution, and in that solution you can basically see the links to the concat functions. Okay, तो यहाँ पर ये जो concat function है separation, group solution. If you open that, it will take you to the question and also the solution with the references. These are the references required. ये रेफरेंस है यहाँ पर दिया हुआ एग्रीगेट फंक्शन में आपको ग्रुप कॉन्टैक्ट एग्रीगेट फंक्शन पढ़ना है. तो एवरीथिंग एल्स इज सेम. सेम कोड है, यहाँ पर मिल जाएगा आपको कोड जब आप उस लिंक पे क्लिक करोगे, सॉल्यूशन लिंक पे क्लिक करोगे तो. राइट, एनी क्वेश्चंस? Let's just see if there's another solution that I mean is group concat. That's what everyone is doing right now. See group concat, group concat, group concat, group concat. These solutions that are there. See territorial. There's another solution. Grouping and aggregating. Python implementation और इसमें ग्रुप कॉन्टैक्ट लिखा होगा. सॉल्यूशन देखते हैं. सबने ग्रुप कॉन्टैक्ट ही नहीं यूज किया. आई थिंक यू नीड दैट. ओके, यू हैव टू नो दैट फंक्शन. ऑलराइट, लेट्स कैरी ऑन. Next, find users with the valid email address. Okay. Now this is going to use some what do you call them? Regex kind of stuff. Okay. So this might be a little complex. इसको हम लोग hold करते हैं ये question. I don't want to go over time to that stuff. Next is this question, which is I'll just comment करके रखता हूँ question. It requires some extra explanation there. Fix names in the table. Alright, so table कुछ दिया है आपके पास में और आपको क्या करना है, उसका जो नाम है वो फिक्स करना है. तो हाउ डू फिक्स दैट? बेसिकली वांट टू से दैट you start with the capital letter and everything else should be a lower case. Okay, start with the capital letter, everything else should be a lower case. तो string operations जो यहाँ पर लिखे थे पहले, थोड़ी देर पहले हमने वो string operations यूज करने हैं. Okay? String operation, the first string operation that we need is basically lower case. So if you want to convert everything to lower case, it is called as L case, or it can also be called as lower case. Okay, both are going to give you the same result. Lower या फिर L case. Okay, lower या फिर L case. Now, since you have that, you will also have something called as upper or U case. Okay. Now, what we have to do is all right. Now, what we have to do is we have to get the first letter first. फर्स्ट लेटर हमको निकालना है सबसे पहले. अगर आपको फर्स्ट लेटर चाहिए तो आप सब स्ट्रिंग बोल सकते हो. लाइक उस स्ट्रिंग को स्प्लिट करना है and you have to split it such a way that you get the first letter, you make the first letter upper, and then you take the right side or you take the rest of the name and convert it to a lowercase and get it. Okay, you can use sub str upper and lower in this case. So when you open sub str, it's going to tell you how to use it. So you just give the word and then you tell what is the starting index and how many characters do you need. Okay, starting index and how many characters do you need. Right. So in this case, it is saying starting index is 5. SQL में index 1 से start होता है. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3 and so on. If I'm not mistaken. Okay. Now let's take a look at this. हम लोग सिंटैक्स उसको चेक उसको ट्राई करके देखते हैं. सिलेक्ट and you say select substring. The substring from where I want to select the substring from name. I want to get it from the one first index, and I want to get first two characters. Let's say put star here as is from users. This is what we have. Let's try to see what it gives us. And all the characters plus one. तो ये क्या दे रहा है यहाँ पर? ये पहले के दो कैरेक्टर्स दे रहा है. Substring is giving me first two characters. The first two characters लेके आते दे रहा है. Okay, but I only need the first character so that I can make it upper. Okay, so let's take the first character. First character आ गया अभी हमारे पास में. Alright, now let's take the rest of the string. Second character. Okay, second character, and let's not give anything. Let's see if this works. Okay, we got the second character, and we just told take the second character and all the way to end. ये फर्स्ट कैरेक्टर यहाँ पे मिल गया, इसका इंडेक्स 1 से स्टार्ट होता है. ओके, रिमेंबर इंडेक्सिंग 1 से स्टार्ट होता है सीक्वल. तो ये फर्स्ट कैरेक्टर यहाँ मिल गया, और you have the rest of the characters here. Rest of the characters here. Okay, now let's do one thing. We have to make it upper. So make it upper. So first character को upper करते हैं. Next को lower करना है, remaining को. So let's make it a lower. And this. So it gave you A, LICE. It gave you B, OB. Now what we have to do is we have to add these two together, concatenate these two together. Okay. So concatenate करने के लिए you have this concat function that is that we saw some time back, concat, right? You can use that concat function, or you can just say plus sign. It is going to give you the concatenation attack. It's plus sign to work, I guess. Okay. Doesn't work. So you can use concat here. Concat. I want to concat result of this with result of this. The concatenation part. You add the concatenation part. You have to call it a name. तो बोलना है name. Okay. And you have to keep the user ID as is from here. You don't need all the columns. You just need user ID from there. Okay. That's it. So substring, upper, concat, three new functions. Okay. These are part of again string functions in SQL. Other functions are also available. Length निकालना है, okay, और कुछ फॉर्मेटिंग करना है, तो सारे फंक्शंस अवेलेबल है यहाँ पे. बट मेनली सबस्ट्रिंग पता होना चाहिए आपको, अपर केस लोअर केस पता होना चाहिए, एंड आई गेस लेंथ पता होना चाहिए, कैसे कैलकुलेट करते हैं किसी स्ट्रिंग का लेंथ. ओके, char length. And then concat is one more thing that we used, so ये तो याद हो जाएगा. That much should be enough. बाकी बाद में बहुत ज्यादा स्प्लिट है जो यूजफुल है, अगर देखते हैं हम स्प्लिट यूज कर रहे हैं तो. Yes, that's how you fix the names in the table. Submit this should work. Yeah. What's wrong? तुमको सॉर्ट करके रिटर्न करना है. Ordered by the user ID. Ordered by user ID. Let's see what anyone else is doing any other solution. So concat same solution. ये यहाँ पर एक एक्स्ट्रा फंक्शन यूज किया लेफ्ट नाम का. concat same substring, concat substring, concat substring. So most of them are doing the same thing. Okay. Move on to the next one. यहाँ पर आपको कैरेक्टर लेंथ यूज करना है, कैर लेंथ. ठीक है, राइट आईडीज फाइंड आउट करने हैं जिनका लेंथ ग्रेटर देन 15 है। तो आपको लिस्ट देखनी है ये वाली, ठीक है, जो लिस्ट मैंने यहाँ पर शेयर किया है, शेयरिंग दिस लिस्ट विथ यू ऑल इन द डिस्कॉर्ड चैनल टू। डिस्कॉर्ड पे मैंने शेयर किया है क्वेश्चन के साथ, लिंक भी शेयर किया है। मेक श्योर यू गो एंड चेक दैट। ठीक है, यहाँ पर सिर्फ और सिर्फ कैरेक्टर लेंथ फाइंड आउट करना है। कैरेक्टर लेंथ अगर ग्रेटर देन 10 जो भी वैल्यू होगा, you have to say it's an invalid and you have to return invalid. So I'm going to leave this as notebook. So make sure you try this out. Character length one. Daily leads and partners. All right. So let's quickly see this question two. क्वेश्चन दिया है डेली सेल्स नाम का एक टेबल है हमारे पास में एंड इट हैज डेट आईडी, मेक नेम, लीड डेट एंड लीड आईडी। प्राइमरी की नहीं है यहाँ पर दिया हुआ और डुप्लीकेट हो सकते हैं इस पर्टिकुलर टेबल में। ओके, इस टेबल में डेट की इंफॉर्मेशन दी है, डेट एंड टाइम ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट सोल्ड। ठीक है, डेट, date ID is basically going to tell you when the product was sold. Okay, IDs of the lead and the partner it was sold to. Okay, लीड कहाँ से मिली और कौन से पार्टनर को सेल किया था, ये सारी इंफॉर्मेशन इस टेबल में है। फॉर ईच डेट आईडी एंड मेक आईडी फाइंड डिस्टिंक्ट लीड आईडीज एंड डिस्टिंक्ट पार्टनर आईडीज। तो फॉर ईच डेट आईडी एंड मेक आईडी कितने डिस्टिंक्ट लीड आईडी और पार्टनर आईडीज का पेयर है वहां पे, नहीं पेयर भी नहीं है, अलग अलग है। ठीक है, सो फॉर दिस डेट, फॉर दिस मेक, how many lead IDs do you have distinct and how many partner IDs do you have distinct? For this date, sorry, this is the daily sales information. For this date, for this make, how many unique leads do you have? IDs unique कितने हैं और partners unique कितने हैं? Unique, information unique important है। Again, for this date, right, another date that you have here. For this date, for this make, Toyota के लिए कितने leads मिले और कितने partners को आपने sell किया उस डेट का, सॉरी कितने यूनिक पार्टनर्स हैं उस पर्टिकुलर डेट में। सो स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड है यहाँ पर, ऑल यू हैव टू डू इज जस्ट डू अ ग्रुप बाय डेट आईडी एंड मेक, ऑलराइट, एंड देन काउंट distinct lead IDs and count distinct partner IDs. All right, that is all you have to do. Do you want me to solve this or you guys can solve it? ट्राई करो, अगर नहीं आया तो बताओ। ठीक है, ग्रुप बाय करना है डेट आईडी और मेक नेम पे, और उसके बाद में यूनिक आईडीज फाइंड आउट करने हैं इसमें, a distinct count of lead ID and partner IDs. That's all you have to do. Okay, let's take a look at this. So we have to count salary categories. आपके पास में टेबल दिया हुआ है, अकाउंट आईडी है और what is the income of that account ID. Alright, and then you have to find out how many are the low salary accounts, how many are the average salary accounts, and how many are the high salary accounts. Again, how many are the low salary accounts, how many are the average salary accounts, and how many are the high salary accounts. ये तीन चीजें आपको निकालनी है। हाउ वुड यू डू इट? केस स्टेटमेंट से आपको ये पता चल सकता है कि ये लो सैलरी है, एवरेज सैलरी है कि नहीं। ओके, that is going to give you what type of salary this is. So case statement can give you one more column here which will tell you what is the category of each of the salaries. Okay, and then you can do a group by on that category and get the answer. But the problem is, if there are no groups for average salary, you have to return zero there. Okay? If there are no groups for the average salary, then you have to return zero there. How do you return zero? Okay, what we can do is we can separately count each of the categories. First, count how many low salaries are there. Then count how many average salaries are there. Then count how many high salaries are there, and take a union of these three things. That should give you this particular view. तो पहले low salaries count करो, average salaries count करो, फिर high salaries count करो. If they said कि average salary 0 है तो इसको skip कर सकते हैं, then what we can do is we can just add one more case statement and check what is the income. तो वो भी करके देखते हैं, so that you guys can take a look at it. Select, put star here, case statement डालते हैं, case end डालते हैं case statement के साथ में, and just say category when income is less than, क्या है, strictly less than 20,000, then we want to call it as a low salary. Okay, when income is in a range, when income is greater than equal to 20,000 and income is less than equal to 50,000, then it's an average salary, else it's a high salary. Okay. Now let's see what we get here. Okay, from account statement. Take a look at this. This is so this is what we get. So we get what is the high salary, what is the low salary, what is the high salary, what is the low salary. We can directly do a group by on this particular table and count how many high salaries are there and how many low salaries are there. Okay, we can directly do that. But the problem is we'll miss out on the average categories. So when we do the group by, ये average आपको नहीं मिलेगा. कैसे करेंगे group by? Pretty straightforward. इसको हम लोग directly, if you just need that, right? So because ID is unique ही हमारे पास में, you can just take this particular thing and then say select count one from, this is your table from where you want to select. CT भी use कर सकते हैं, CT भी आप try कर सकते हैं. Give it a name, so let's just call it categories we have. Okay, and then group by categories dot category, and then just give a category. So we get category कितना काउंट है, लो सैलरी का कितना काउंट है, काउंट मिल गया. बट द प्रॉब्लम इज द एवरेज जो है जीरो, ये नहीं मिलेगा आपको इसकी वजह से. यू आर नॉट गोइंग टू गेट द एवरेज पार्ट. एवरेज पार्ट कैसे लेके आएंगे? यस, जैसे बोला था मैंने थोड़ी देर पहले, यू कैन जस्ट डू 3 डिफरेंट क्वेरीज एंड डू अ यूनियन ऑफ देम. तो हर एक क्वेरी में पहले लो सैलरी वाले का फिल्टर आउट कर लो, उनका काउंट ले लो, देन यूनियन हाई सैलरी वाले का काउंट, देन यूनियन एवरेज सैलरी वाले का काउंट. That is going to give you the answer directly. Let's try to do that. What I mean by that is this. We are given select count. Now to count IDs, let's say कितने IDs है आपके पास में, account IDs from accounts table. Okay, where income is less than this. Okay, we get the count, and what we're going to call this as count. count चाहिए ना यहाँ पे, account count. This is going to be account count. All right. What else do we need? We need something which is the value. Low salary चाहिए. You need low salary. What is the name of this particular column? The name of this column is salary category. Let's take a look at this. What we get. Low salary लिख के आएगा, count लिख के आएगा. Low salary लिख के उसका count लिख के. Okay. चलो ये तो हो गया एक. Now let's try to do a union of this. With whom? Union of this with the high salary or maybe average salary. Let's say. Union of this with the average salary. Okay. Category is this, count is this, and we basically have this condition. We're getting the average salary. Well, this is the condition. When we run this, we get average salary as 0. We got average salary as 0 as expected because this is going to return you 0 counts. All right. Now, finally do a union with the remaining part, which is your high salary. So where this is income is greater than 50,000. Okay, that's how you get the answer. Okay. इसमें प्रॉब्लम क्या था वो समझ लिया हमने, उसके बाद में उसके ऊपर का सॉल्यूशन क्या था ये समझ लिया. Let's just check if there are any other solutions that other people are trying. Union. Most of them will say union only. I'm pretty sure. And they are doing it. Some people are saying that union all is preferred because union all is going to make sure that we don't do any extra checks. Let's just put union all. क्योंकि हमें पता है यहाँ से यूनिक ही मिलने वाला, यहाँ से भी यूनिक मिलने वाला, यहाँ से यूनिक मिलने वाला. But that's very small difference because we don't have too many groups to merge here, right? We just have 3 groups. So union all या फिर union, both are going to give you approximately same time complexity of constant time. एक एक ही, यहाँ से एक ही आएगा, यहाँ से भी एक ही आएगा, यहाँ से भी एक ही आएगा. All right, let's check the last question for today. This might be a little time consuming. Number of question देखता हूँ ना एक बार, if this should be homework or not. So this question says number of unique subject taught by the teacher. So what are we given? We are given teacher IDs, to subject ID and department ID. You have to find out number of unique subjects taught by each teacher. ठीक है, टीचर है, स्टूडेंट दिया है, डिपार्टमेंट दिया है, सॉरी टीचर है, सब्जेक्ट है, डिपार्टमेंट दिया है. डिपार्टमेंट के साथ तो कुछ लेना देना नहीं है. They teach subject 2 in department 3 and 4, teach subject 3 in department 3. It teaches 2 unique subjects. This teacher teaches 4 unique subjects. Okay, so department का तो कुछ लेना देना ही नहीं है, I guess. All you have to do is just group by the teacher ID and get the unique ID of the subjects. Okay? Pretty straightforward. Do this as a homework. Cool. Alright, so 2 क्वेश्चन रहते हैं, हम लोग 2 क्वेश्चन कल सॉल्व करेंगे और नेक्स्ट सेशन में सॉल्व करेंगे. और अभी सबमिशंस लेना मुझे स्टूडेंट्स के, तो सबमिशंस लेना. Any doubts, any questions? रिकॉर्डिंग में शेयर कर देंगे।